since you didn't catch the very beginning of it, I'm going to go in a full body hazmat suit and I'm going to travel out to where Martin is. And I'm going to rearrange his furniture so that the sunlight that he always seems to be avoiding or can't hit, that will eventually be now front and center whenever he does broadcast in the future.
Perfect.
Yeah. Unless, of course, he's part vampire and wants to stay in the dark, then I will not press that whatsoever.
You did see the red light that he's got usually on, don't you?
Yeah.
The lighting, Martin, is a bit difficult there.
It is. That's true. Yeah. Okay. You shame me into taking corrective action.
Yeah, in a sec, but I'm on the call. Uh-oh, what's happening? Now he's going to shut the light completely.
Exactly. He's closing it out.
He's drowning the light.
It's all right. There you go.
Vampire confirmed. There you go. No, that's better. That's great.
Yeah.
Did you put like a white reflective panel against it so that it basically no?
That's none of your business how I solve these problems.
You know, I hear that a lot in the GVDS. So
really don't imagine that.
Can I hang out with you guys? No, get out. Oh, there's Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Hi guys.
Hi.
My battery is like running out at 14%. My gosh, but I'm using my friend's phone soon.
Okay.
I totally forgot about this. I'm so sorry. I thought it was like at 11 my time.
Yeah. Grace has been asking 10 minutes ago. So when is it exactly?
10 minutes from now.
It's like too late for me to get home. My gosh.
Where are you now, Grace?
I'm like somewhere in the middle of a shopping center.
Great. Fantastic.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Hey.
Well, here's a layer of added protection for you, Grace. So as you make your way back to wherever you're going to go, you can keep your video on so that, you know, while we're going through the showcase, we can actually make sure that you're secure. There's no problems. We can tell you that when people around you aren't wearing masks, and we can kind of make sure that you arrive safely wherever you're going to be.
So I'm supposed to wear masks actually, but you know, now I'm just going to use a water as my excuse. I'm drinking water and not going to wear a mask.
You're gonna walk around with a water bottle in your mouth the entire time. That's like a baby with a pacifier. That's gonna be really weird. It's like she's really thirsty, or she's got something about plastic bottles.
Grace at the shopping center. Bravo.
Yeah, there you go. I'm testing to see if COVID is real. Just keep talking. I'll be here drinking.
Okay.
All right, cool. So now that we've gotten we've gotten everything out of the way, this is Team Bunnion. This is the GVDS Showcase. This is showcase number 10, I believe. And the whole point of all of us getting together and talking at will about what we're going to be doing is taking what we've been working on, or what the team's been working on for the past month, and basically showcasing it for everyone involved, for not only for the people that are tuning in on YouTube and Zoom, but also for historical reference in case people watch this in the future, which they undoubtedly do, because I even get messages and references from GVDS 2 and 3 about some of the projects that were going on there. So the way this works is that the team is going to start with where their challenge or their idea. They're going to walk you through a visual to kind of explain all of this. They'll get into how they approach the problem or their challenge, a little bit of ideation, what they thought was a novel solution, and then eventually showcasing their prototype. They'll go through what their customers and users thought of their idea, get their own impressions about what the experience was like, and then we'll wrap it up with any Q&A at the end. For reference, if you want to find out more about what they do and what they're all about, I will be linking to all of their LinkedIn profiles on LinkedIn. You'll be able to see all of them there. I think they're also referenced by name in the mural, so you should be able to see it there. But that's really all this is really all this is. This is what this is. This is the GVDS Showcase. So this is everyone kind of showcasing what they've done for the past month on the project. And by the way, my son over here is in 3rd grade, and he will be talking over me, talking to his teacher. So I'll try to stay on mute when I need to. The first question, though, is who on the call is going to be sharing their screen and their mural for what they're going to be doing?
I can do that, if that's okay for you guys.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Of course.
Just give me a second.
Grace has a lot of bandwidth through her phone. She could probably do that. Sorry, Grace. I'm just only kidding. Just having fun.
It's okay. I still love you.
So here we are.
All right, cool. Yep, take it away, Fides. If you need anything, just let me know. I'll be here, kind of holding down the Zoom call and monitoring things.
Perfect. So, Grace, will you be able to take over your part of the call? Will you be able to do that?
Yep, of course.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So we'll just quickly do an introduction round. Martin.
Yeah, hi. I'm Martin. I'm based in Dublin, and I'm an innovation business consultant. I normally focus on small to medium size enterprise companies and startups and some nonprofits. And I really try and help them, get out of the gate quickly, with very, customer-centric and user-centric products and solutions. So that's my game. And had great fun on the sprint. So I'll pass you on to the next person I see on the list, which is Fides herself. And
Exactly. So my name is Fides. I'm from Switzerland, close to Zurich, the German-speaking part of Switzerland. I'm a business designer and strategic consultant. So I take companies from like a startup phase with the strategic design and decisions all the way down to the websites and cover with them all the bases they need to have covered. This was my first GVDS, and it's just a marvelous experience. Can't say more than that. Abhinav, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you for this. And hi, everybody. I'm Abhinav Patandi. I'm based out of New Delhi, India. I am a UX design consultant by profession. I help businesses with their UX design solutions and create user experiences for digital products and my primary profession. This has been my first GVDS, and I've been thankful to a very grateful team. It's extremely motivated to create a new solution in the space of design thinking. It's been a great journey with them over the past one and a half months that I had. And that's all that I can say. It's been a wonderful learning experience and great guidance from Robert. And I'll pass it on to Grace.
All right, hi guys. I'm Grace. I'm located in Singapore. This is my first GVDS as well. I'm actually an education officer, meaning I teach in a school and I teach in a primary school in Singapore in grade 1. So I am actually very interested in design sprint. I started design sprint when I was in last year, but I've never had a chance to run a design sprint until with my group. And my team has been really, really, really supportive. Abhinav, okay, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, you have gone silent for half a second there. But
all right, yeah,
Grace.
So I was saying that, I'm so glad to be part of this team because my group is awesome. And now I'm at a shopping center talking and everybody's looking at me, but I'm so glad to be part of this team still, even at this point of time. Yeah.
Perfect. Now the team was a bit bigger when we started off. Cesar has started a new job, so he can't be here. And Kylie has been part of the sprint, but didn't have time to join for all the post-processing that we did. Grace, do you want to take over with the idea?
Sure. Hi, guys. Yeah. As we were saying, we started with a very big idea. In fact, we had a lot of things in mind. And at the very beginning, we were looking at both entrepreneurship and education. And we decided that education is in fact something that is very close to our hearts. So we look at design thinking in education, and we thought, hey, it's something that we really wanted to implement it into the current curriculum, whether it be in Switzerland, in Singapore, or in India, or even Ireland. But it's something that we don't see teachers implementing it very often. So we realized that, hey, maybe there is in fact an issue of teachers who wants to add design thinking into education, but they really have no idea of how to go about doing it. And as we were going along, we realized that perhaps besides the lack of the know-how, there's also a lack of resources to achieve a tangible outcome to allow design thinking to take place in the day-to-day momentum of the daily classroom. So with that in mind, we started off our sprint with the sprint journey. So our very first thought was, can we actually get teachers to see the value of design thinking? Well, design thinking is a concept that's very, very mature in the market, but it's definitely not one that is very well known in the education industry, or at least in Singapore. And with that in mind, we started to think, so how can we get teachers to even want to think about design thinking itself or think about innovation itself? So first we started out thinking, can we actually does it actually provide a return on investments in terms of providing the tangible outcomes, the key performance indicators for the teachers, not just for the teachers, but also for the stakeholders, for the institution? And then after that, we started thinking, can we actually empower teachers to see creativity? That creativity is not just a very abstract concept that's out there, but something that can be implemented on a day-to-day basis in a bite-sized manner within a classroom, and hence in a practical manner. And with that, we also started thinking, so innovation, can it be something that is so bite-sized, or rather so tangible, that it can be incorporated into part of their daily teaching without compromising their quality of work? So that was the how may we that started us thinking of what we have. So with that, we had a lot of concerns about where is the best starting point. Should we start with the teachers? Should we start with the curriculum? If we were starting with the teachers, how do we go about doing that? What is the level of teachers that we should start with? If it's the curriculum, we have so diverse curriculum. We are from Singapore, we are from India, we are from Ireland. There's so many things. Are we going to make it cultural context, specific? So with that in mind, that started off our whole entire thinking process. And we had various prototypes, or in fact, various things that we wanted to do. And then one of the main things that got us thinking to where we are is, in fact, we wanted quick wins with the prototype. We wanted something that allows the team to put in an equitable amount of effort, but yet at the same time also achieve big wins, not just for the team, but also for the users that are using it. That in fact, design thinking can be incorporated into the curriculum without us spending fortunes on it, or spending best amount of times on it. And then with that, it started us thinking about our end goal. So our end goal is to have design thinking integrated into the school curriculum, where we actually form, or we start a basis for a community that ideas can be achieved, and then we actually have potential for further collaboration to ensure that this is something that doesn't die, but something that lives on even after the teachers are no longer in service, for instance. Yeah, with that, I'll pass the time on to my next presenter.
Just give me a moment. It's a bit slow right now.
Okay, Grace. Thank you, Grace. Grace, they say that creativity thrives on constraints. And I gotta say, like having to present from a mobile in the middle of a shopping center, like downtown at short notice, you really brought everything to the table. And I'm not surprised. Yeah, super. So yes, Grace is right. We kicked around a lot of ideas, and just to maybe give you an idea of some of the ones we thought about: an innovation pool of teachers who would co-create and share content, a game with levels of teachers to exchange freebies for innovation in class. We thought about an innovation lab, possibly, that they would go to once a week with the class. certification programs. So these were all the ideas, and they were many and varied. But we kind of came back to look at teachers are the resources and all the other things that we looked at, and having Grace on the team who could kind of give me an insight, us into an insight in the life of teachers. So we tried to kind of keep it simple but effective, and we came up with this concept of a card deck with daily innovation prompts for teachers. And as we just moved into the prototype, we really thought about what the value was and what teachers were, you know, and the aim of the teachers isn't to grapple with technology or to kind of worry. Like, what they want to do is they want to produce, you know, learners and enthusiastic learners and creative individuals with resilience and empathy. And that became kind of, you know, it's like something that we wanted to embed in it. So we came up with this concept of a card deck, which would have lots of different themes that would be holistically kind of connected into this, what we call a maker's mindset, which is obviously at the heart of design thinking. So we started doing the prototype so that we could allow teachers who might be looking at this visualize what they might involve and how they might interact with them, with the students. And one of the things that we also taught is, because we wanted we come up with it during our yes and building the thing, we wanted to have it, you know, available. We wanted to have some kind of digital component, make it swappable, and we kind of brought all of those into the design and the prototype. And so we come up with this novel idea of actually putting a QR code onto all of the cards, or onto some of the cards where a teacher or a student might benefit from having some additional online support. And now, in presenting the prototype, we kind of created a digital element, and I'm going to pass you on to Abhinav, who can talk through that, who really kind of built the infrastructure for that and allowed us to present it. So he can kind of give you an overview, and then there's an embedded link to the site.
Abhinav, do you want to take over the screen sharing? Might be easier.
Sure, thank you for this.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing, and you can take it over.
Just give me a sec. Okay, let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. So when we went to the prototyping phase, we had two challenges. The first one that we started was to make the cards itself, and we had put in the QR codes, and we had decided, okay, our offline journey has pretty much been covered, and we have been able to create the physical prototype that we wanted. But now we were struggling with the digital phase of it. We were worried that, you know, how do we make the the digital prototype? How do we translate the offline to the online journey? And how do we make it quickly? So there were a couple of tools that we kind of deliberated on. We figured out that we can do digital prototypes on Figma and XD and certain other tools, but that was not meeting the purpose. There was a long development journey which we would have had to go undertake to realize our digital prototype. So what we thought of to do quickly is we came up with a Google Sites kind of a prototype. We used Google Sites. So if you click here on our showcase, or you can go to our Google Sites prototype, it's called Thought Cards. So basically the idea here was that the moment you scan the QR code, you are taken to our web page, and this is something that we could also present to all of our stakeholders, like, you know, all the interviewees or the people who we wanted to validate with. We could quickly send them the link. And the second benefit of using a digital collaborative digital prototyping tool like Google Sites was that we could come up with you know, cross-platform experience. We could build for mobile as well, and we could build for the web interfaces as well. And everybody could, you know, contribute to the development of this particular product. So basically what we have here is we just started with two cards. The first one was for the system design thinking card that we took. And basically this web page has a very short intro how to use this particular card, how to create innovation using the design thinking card, and what the additional details are required to, you know, undertake this activity in the classroom. So basically what we did is we iterated on this quickly with in multiple rounds, and one of the benefits that we had of building it on Google Sites was that we had very fast collaboration. You know, by the time we were discussing, we were able to make changes into the prototype in our discussion itself, and we did not have to spend additional amount of time in building the digital prototype. So that was the key win for us from the digital prototyping phase. And I would like to pass it back to Fides.
Yes.
Let me stop share.
Mm-hmm. So, and I must say, it was mainly Abhinav. Like we were talking, and Abhinav was doing all the prototype, the website, and it was amazing to watch him. And that was quite exactly Grace, wasn't it? It was quite a learning experience. Oh, just a moment. It is slow. So with these two items, we then went into user testing. And funny thing was, although it was user testing and Grace and I did a user questionnaire, we've put it up on a mural, we've been thinking hard, like how to lead the users through the interview and show them the cards, like first, what is the thinking behind what we wanted to do? What is the reasoning behind why we did the way we did it? And how to show them the cards. And for the cards, I did a quick mock-up here to have it in the user interview and to show them the website. So that was mainly done by Grace and me, and Martin and Abhinav did the digital prototype. We had 4 users. The mural is slow, sorry, just a moment. So we had 4 users that we tested with. A teacher from Singapore, who is a colleague of Grace's, 2 teachers from Ireland, and my little son's teacher here from Switzerland. So these were the users that we showed the cards and the prototype to. And it was really interesting to see how those user testing evolved. Although we did have a script, all 4 of them were so enthusiastic and so taken in by the idea that we wanted to achieve that in the end it unfolded into like more of a chat, a discussion, also more of like the way you do it in a design sprint, like an expert interview. So we were gathering more and more information from those teachers, and it was amazing to see how much they liked the idea and the product that we had. So we had many positive statements, like the maker mindset. If I remember correctly, all 4 of them knew about, they wanted to, they are including creativity, they want to include the maker mindset, and they also those cards and the app as a welcome tool to do that. They all thought it's a simple tool. It's an easy to use tool that is easy to integrate. Fierz, some of them said they were a bit surprised by the QR code, by the possibility to link the physical card to an online component, but they all liked the idea. Also, we made sure we did ask them, what kind of tools do you have in the classroom? Is that even an option that is possible? Can you do that? So that was very well taken. Negative statements, we did have a few as well, mainly around preparation, because some of the exercises we've been thinking of do need a bit of preparation to getting ready, to get all the materials ready that the students need. The other point that we saw is, I think it depends a lot on the country as well, on the school system, how easy it is to integrate such a tool in the class. Like the teacher from Switzerland, she has a few guidelines that she has to follow, what she has to teach the students, but she can do within the lesson, she can build it the way she wants to. So she even said, I could buy that on my own money. I would buy that on my own money and use it in my class. So that would not be a problem. We had other comments where it was more like, I'd have to talk to the headmaster, see how we can integrate that, if it can be integrated in the curriculum. So that is a question that is still open. Does it fit into all school systems? We had lots of good ideas coming from our teachers, like introduce it to private schools because they're just a bit more flexible, that they like the physical aspect of the cards, and the insights. bit slow again. All of them were very positive about the cards, and that it would be great to use them. So for us, that was a big boost, a big inspiration. It was amazing to see how something that we did as an exercise really resulted in something that was welcomed so warmly, and they all said, yeah, we would use that. I need to see when and how and in what format, but I would love to use that. So we will see where we'll take that. The next step, maybe team, you want to come in as well so we can discuss that. So as part of the showcase, we have a few screenshots. That was like, I think that was the first one we did, and that's still my favorite one.
That's my inner fear. It's like no one showed up. It's like what happened?
It's marvelous. I think it's Cesar who suggested that, wasn't he? That was amazing. Yeah. Can't remember. That was one of Grace's screenshots, wasn't it, Grace?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She then said she's been taking screenshots of us secretly all time long, so we didn't know that. And
that's when
very appropriate, Robert.
Yeah, he went into Doctor Strange mode and made us all disappear. He sent us to another dimension.
Exactly.
Because we weren't behaving ourselves.
If I had the ability to travel time, there'd be a lot of things I do differently. But yeah, I'll take the time travel for sure. Bonk.
This is a screenshot. I don't know, was it also from Grace? Well, we've been discussing the prototype, also from Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, go slow. That's the interview with Nadia, the Swiss teacher. And here in the background, you can see the mural that we did to capture all the comments.
Grace, did you have the Swiss Alps in the background as part of the interview? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
She always did. She always did.
So would customer support be like Dante's Inferno in the background or something?
It's part of our philosophy to think global and act local.
Got it.
That's
exactly.
We do.
Okay.
And here's the last one that we did.
Yeah.
So we're already coming to one of the last sections on the mural, the comments. Martin, we did it twice here, so I'm going to delete those. Do you want to take over, guys? Abhinav?
I think we can open the floor to everybody one by one. We can take one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, definitely for me, it was the creative collaboration and the confidence shown by the team, which was of great value. And a couple of times we were not sure which way to go ahead, and we were not clear whether we will be able to build the prototype or not. But yeah, it was the coherence of the team that Grace pinging me on WhatsApp, hey, we missed you in the previous session, why don't you join the next one? And Martin with this definitely helping me find way when I was lost and what is happening, I don't know, are we even doing the sprint? So yeah, it was definitely great learning experience with all of you. And
it was.
Anybody can take over.
So to me, the amazing thing really was to see how quickly we can overcome the barriers, the physical barriers, the cultural barriers, and grow together as a team. That was amazing to see. And the output that we have, it was great to see how well it was received. I mean, we were just working on the green field, weren't we? And to come up with something that is so well received and that could really be done and sold probably, that is quite an amazing experience. Martin?
I think I see Grace getting some IT support from the security guard in the shopping center, or else she's getting...
We're not wearing her mask.
Yeah, one or the other. Let's see what happens. Okay, so yeah, for me, yeah, it was amazing to see, you know, how many great ideas, you know, I mean, we kind of showcased, you know, like what we did finally, but we generated so many, and it was, you know, an absolutely fantastic collaboration from start to finish. Abhinav mentioned it, it was chaotic at times, but we brought great spirit and camaraderie, I think, to the, and we, you know, we decided we were just going to, you know, like complete the journey, you know, like at a point when we got a bit wobbly, we said, come on guys, we're going to just finish this. And the showcase was, and here we are, and we're here. And the passion that everyone brought to making our ideas into a testable prototype and getting that positive feedback from the 4 subject matter experts that we interviewed, that was just fantastic. Yeah, so yeah, really, yeah, you know, great experience over the last 5 or 6 weeks, guys. Grace, you're back. Just
Grace is back.
Need to unmute you. We'll all turn our heads to the side. Hello.
Yep.
Poor Grace.
Can you unmute her? Who's in command here?
Oh, she's unmuted, I think.
I can't.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm very grateful for the entire team. I think more than working together as a team, I really learned a lot about the culture of mentoring, the culture of, emphasizing on the strengths of others, the culture of spotting virtues in others. And I guess at the start, I wasn't very sure about working with Fides and Martin. You know, they look so experienced and they look so scary. But eventually, they turned out to be such great mentors and such wonderful encouragers, you know. Like, you know, they see the humor in everything, even the fact that I'm presenting this in a shopping center. Yeah, they're such wonderful people. I'm so amazed. And Abhinav as well, like the whole dynamic of the team is such a joy to be with them.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair,
I'm very blessed.
To be fair, Fides does have an avatar in LinkedIn where she's kind of looking down, going, "Yes, I know what I'm doing."
Yeah, she looks scary there.
Yeah, before she was smiling, looking up at the sun, and now she's staring down at you, going, "What do you possibly have to offer me that I could even consider?"
No.
and Martin is because the avatar he has is kind of like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. You want to catch up? Yeah, come on, let's go. I was gonna say, Fides, Grace, that your aspect ratio has changed, so now your face is kind of like laying down. So for a minute, I thought you were actually laying on the floor underneath the table, hiding from the security officer. So it looked like you were going, "Yes, I'm very grateful, but I'm hiding because they know I don't have a mask."
This is awesome.
I'm just waiting to 5 minutes from now where the phone is going to be jiggling all over the place. You're still holding it up, and there's like this officer way in the background, like running after her.
Thanks, Robert.
Good Grace.
Sorry, it's my mind wandering after me. Yeah, I know. I mean well. Okay, so does anyone else have want to go through the feedback, or we covered everybody? I think we covered everybody. Yeah.
I think we covered everybody. Yes.
Yes.
So the question I always post for teams after they get done with a virtual design sprint is, what would they improve? So there's plenty of room for improvement with this, especially now that we changed from trying to compress everything in a week and letting the teams breathe and work on it for a full month. What would each of you improve about what you experienced that could help for next time? Like if I did this again in April, which I'm doing, what would you improve upon?
I mean, my initial thoughts when you asked that question were, I think if I'm right, all of us were newbies to the global virtual design sprint, and I thought that kind of, it presented both a challenge and a great learning opportunity, you know. Exactly. So I'm not necessarily saying it's a negative thing, but I think that we would probably get out of the gates much quicker in another virtual design sprint, and you know, you know, Robert, you were doing so much for us and everybody, like, who was involved in it, that, you know, to try and draw, you know, on you, like, you know, was really beneficial to us. But equally, you were trying to do a lot, you know, like for everybody, you know, concurrently. So, you know, there was a time, you know, like, where we did find it kind of stressful, but we got through it, and, you know, like, and so no real issue there. But I think, yeah, like, knowing the process and where it's going, you know, like, is going to be a huge help next time we come back to this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I thought about doing some sort of walkthrough of each particular day, 1 or 2 weeks prior to the actual sprint week. So it's open-ended, anyone can join, it's recorded. So walking through essentially what each day goes through, or what you experience. And then for people that have done this before, can comment on it or add what I don't put in. And then for people that are new, can kind of take it into a certain extent, but would be more familiar with the context of an activity or the day, if I did provide that example.
I think that would be good, yeah, to have an overview about the whole process, and maybe even a visual representation of that on every mural, so you know that's where we started, that's where we are now, and that's where we want to go to.
Yeah,
so
kind of like a map.
Like a map, exactly.
Experience map. Okay.
But apart from that, it's been amazing.
Yes.
Yep.
Totally agree.
It's weird because sometimes that the combination of a lot of different individuals meeting together works, and sometimes it kind of works, but other times it works extremely well. And it's really sometimes a roll of the dice beyond the data that I'm given to pair teams up. So I always find it interesting to see which teams come to the showcase with something like a culmination of their work, and which ones are kind of like doing it to go through the motions. So it's always really interesting to see how that pans out.
Definitely.
So what would you do with this idea that you've created and the feedback that you had? If you had unlimited budget, had enough time to kind of devote to it, where would you take it? Like, where could you see it in that long-term goal exercise of 1 month, 3 months, 6 months? Where would you see it eventually going?
So that's really what we talked about anyway. And we said we're going to meet, when did we say? What, beginning of December? To discuss exactly, to discuss how we can take it further. And if you want to take it further, and we might even go into production and do an actual product and do an actual app, a website to support that, and see if we can promote it. We have so many good connections. We got so many good names from the teachers, where to bring it to, where to market it, where to promote it. So we might really go through with it and keep working on it.
Yeah, I think we interviewed people who are very passionate, and we were kind of very lucky because they became very engaged in the concept and they gave us a lot of good feedback. I guess what we would try and do is test the mainstream market. So we've been talking as a team about, you know, the possibility of doing some prototyping, you know, like, you know, based on the feedback and honing the value proposition, but doing a low cost prototyping experiment into some of the channels that we have been. And that was the beauty of the SME, you know, and all of those leads that they gave us, you know, have given us great avenues now to do some prototyping exploration, which wouldn't have been revealed to us if we had just started with prototyping. So I think, you know, this is a larger question we kind of discussed offline, but I think there's a huge benefit in kind of taking two approaches simultaneously. And each one feeds into the other, for sure.
Yeah. One avenue that you may be open to you that you could consider is other teams in previous GVDSs have taken what they've done in prototyping when we were first really new with it, and they created whole products and services from them, but started out with just those initial learnings. One team made a sub page off of their URL, like their main page, and used that as a landing spot for type form fill outs, for commerce, to do other things and test the market with them. Another team used a subject matter expert as a reference point. So they created 4 different experiments. One of them was SME based, meaning that you did get third-party data into it a little bit, but then you had the gut feeling of some of the people on the team based on what they learned. So the initial, what I learned from that experience was that after you figure out that there's an interest, you do 10 experiments, but all of them are fractal, meaning there's slight variations on a theme. So you're kind of like, it's like when you take a bunch of fish food and you're in the lake and you can do a wide swing of the fish food. There's going to be certain fish that kind of pop up immediately on one part of that wave, and then the food is just going to sit there and float and wait for other people to pick at it over time. So if you can think of 10 variations or 9 variations of your central thing and just make them minor, that will give you enough coverage to see if you not only A, hit the right audience, B, are kind of targeting with the right message, and C, seeing how your target audience is responding to your visuals and to your message. So that would be the one recommendation I'd have based on the experience I've had with the process so far.
Mm-hmm.
I would also consult Americo Alves. He is a dynamo when it comes to analytics and research. Both this time and last time, he puts an extraordinary amount of work and effort into kind of the analytics and the metrics around the testing. So if there's a need by this team to do that, I would consult him, because he just knows this stuff and he's not afraid to experiment at all. So if you wanted to do a kind of like a consult with him, he's part of the GVDS. I would actually reach out to him and say, do you have like a few minutes to meet with us, or 30 minutes to talk about how you approach kind of setting these things up? Because intuitively and natively, he knows how to do it.
Yeah, America was on my Dash team, Robert, you may recall. So America and I have been discussing, not in detail, but and I invited him to look at some of the work that we've been doing, because I had anticipated that we would do this, and I did see on the Dash side of it, you know, his and I like, he's a kindred spirit in that regard. I'm really an evidence-based guy as well. I'm huge into the analytics. So yeah, in terms of moving forward, I would be really kind of measured in my approach. Yeah.
But you know what the funny thing about Americo is like there could be like this plate of things that needs to do, like this to-do list that has to do with like an experiment of some type. And you go, everyone's kind of on the assumption, yeah, well, we're going to get to it eventually. Americo will get it done overnight, have like 3 or 4 different things done. And you're kind of like, wow, now you're just kind of consuming everything he's done. And there's a bit of guilt for me too. It's like, I could have done and helped a little, but it's like, no. I set up the ads. I've done Facebook, I did this, and it's all done. I'm like,
yeah, and that's the part I'm still kind of feeling my way around on, you know, like and you know, there are questions about, you know, like if you go out, you know, like with the, you know, like a different variant, you know, like bang out to the same channels, you know, are you kind of corrupting your reputation, you know, like with those, with that audience? That I'm you know, I do have slight concerns around that, I'll be honest, you know, like, and I just gonna need to figure out how best to do that.
I had two thoughts. One is, I think there's another dimension of this pretotyping that is unsaid that needs to be explicit, and that's and I didn't have it in the Dash. It's the tail end. It's like, how do you actually set up, if you want to do an analytics play, if you want to do a human-based kind of engagement play, there are steps and there are like concrete ways of doing it beyond just the compartment of a false door or a Pinocchio, like the convenient names of these experiments. There's the how-to that's missing there, and I think Americo's a central part of that conversation. I'm forgetting what the other thing was. It'll come to me in a second, but I think yeah, it's I forgot it, so I'll stop there.
Yeah.
I did it. Go ahead, Fides. What were you going to say?
I think that's a very valuable discussion. And as I'm like into prototyping in different areas and very much interested in that. So yes, absolutely. And I'm talking to Amerigo anyway regarding strategy sprints. So let's take that up, Martin. Let's do that and get together. And
I think like we've got a real head start here because we both have a working relationship with Americo. So, you know, it's not going to be difficult to kind of to pick up that conversation.
Exactly. So we know what we want to do. We know where we want to go towards to.
Yeah. With this particular version of the Global Virtual Design Sprint, I took Lee Duncan's advice, and instead of trying to shotgun 3 or 4 or 5 design sprints, you know, weeks of design sprints in a month, I took the step to expand it out so that there was enough time for research, enough time for people to prepare for their design sprint week. And then the tail end was very open-ended. So I wasn't as prescriptive as I was the first 3 weeks. I wanted to get the team's impression of, was that open-endedness appreciated? Was it something that you think helped things? Or do you think that the prescriptive nature of the event should have been replicated towards week 3 and week 4? So prescriptive is meaning that I would say, like, after your sprint is done or after your dash is done, these are the steps you should probably take, and here are the templates to work with.
Mm-hmm. From my point of view, I think it's better the way you did it this time, Robert. Doing it for the first 2 or 3 weeks, that's very good, because we're not yet a team. We still have to get to know each other and to trust each other and to start like a working collaboration and know how we want to proceed. But and as you know, our team has been, we lost a few members on the way to here. But in the end, if it's not as prescriptive, it shows you who really wants to do it. So we have to develop our own drive. And I think that's very valuable.
Okay. Yeah. Abhinav, I haven't heard from you lately, so I'm wondering, A, if you're still alive, and B, what are your thoughts on this one?
Right. So my thoughts would be that, yeah, definitely I'd echoed the similar thoughts that that Martin and Fides have already talked about. And you were also talking about, again, reaching to Mariko would be a great option. I have previously had an opportunity to sync out with the Mariko outside of the sprint. So that was a great learning opportunity with him as well. Apart from that, what we could do differently for the next version, I would suggest that, just a thought that why don't we do a playbook kind of a scenario where we, help people kind of in the new participants with strategies to how to, look onto the virtual design sprint as probably what you can say, a guidebook that, this is what a probable outlook towards the sprint could be, that this is how we could build the product, or not the product, but this is how we can supposed to embrace the sprint. So that is something that I would be looking forward to. Just a thought that came.
Yeah.
Because at places I felt that yes, we were we were lost in translation, that this is probably with some kind of an instruction is each of us understood it in our own ways, and then we kind of figure out, okay, this is probably it is what is looking best, or we just followed each one of us took leadership there and we followed the cue. So instead of doing that, my suggestion would be that if we can, I know it's a huge work, and there would be a lot of effort involved into doing something like this. But again, this is my reflection from the session.
So if I could follow that thought, Abhinav, what form would that playbook take? Would it be something of an audio? Would it be video? Would it be written word? What would be the format that you would see that playbook manifest in?
So I think, again, that is something to experiment with. We might experiment. One of the easiest things to do with could be, just a collection of what we have done as of now, and with experiences from GVDS 1 to GVDS 5, what has the translation been, and how teams have sorted or found solution in multiple areas. Like for us, one of the greatest learning for me in the sprint was when we were doing the prototype. I was not very confident that whether the prototype is going to work or not, or how do we even do the prototype. That was one of the biggest questions. But it was a spur of the moment thing that we decided on a tool that I hadn't even worked in the last 5 years, that I will take this up and do it on such kind of a tool. But it just worked. So that those kind of decisions might also be, if we can uh, create a collation of these instruments in probably a text document or somewhere, that this is the things that teams have done. We're already doing a lot of videos, etc. But navigating through all of this may be quite overwhelming to somebody who's coming new into the process.
Yeah, like it is interesting. We spent a lot of time talking about the prototype and the solution and serving the market. I have to say, like that wasn't an outcome that I imagined when I came into this, and it wasn't also my intention. Like my intention was to get better at facilitation. And to understand, like how that would work. And I would, and I'd love to get visibility into like some of, let's say, the facilitation leaders. Like I kind of found we learned by doing, and it was at times chaotic, and we got there. But so I'd love to have facilitation masterclass from somebody who has won like some of these most valuable practitioner awards. That would be gold for me.
Yeah,
So-
or the spotlight award winners, right?
So if you, in my mind, I'm combining the Abhinav's playbook idea with the walkthrough idea that I had previous, where the walkthrough isn't really me kind of being a talking head, but it's similar to the interview style that we had done previous to the event. So we did a lot of interviews with different people about, I think those are up on the site, about interviewing the first day, the second day. Like we went through different exercises with different people. So I kind of did the kind of like the discussion with folks, but I wonder if instead of kind of leaving it open-ended, it really is like looking at the templates and walking through each of the steps, but having people that are been part of the GVDS to comment on, that are facilitators or were facilitators, may give their own points of view on particular things around the exercises, so that you have not only the context of the exercise and the templates, but the experience of the people that have gone through it before. It's like, watch out for this, or when you're doing this, consider this, and some things that they've learned as part of their experience, so that it's contextual to that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea. Yeah. And even when people moved away from, out of the box mural boards, and some people, took it off in a whole new direction. I looked at Fides' showcase for her dash, and, and the amazing job that they did on their showcase mural was, blew my mind, like, and I think that, like it's kind of understanding the scope of that, and for people to kind of share, well, exactly like you said, Robert, at this point, we kind of decided we would maybe take it, it's like maybe, turn a little bit left or right here in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, will be great.
Yeah.
Great, still there.
Go ahead. Nothing else? You good? Okay. All right, so we're nearly at time. Oh, look, we got the mask. I just noticed. All right, so maybe a good theme to do is that if everybody has a mask somewhere in their house, they can go ahead and like grab it, and that'll be the theme for Team Bunnion, like for our last shot.
Sounds great. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah.
Not close by.
Yeah, give me a second too.
I'm gonna have to go downstairs and get it. We have a few minutes, so we have some time, so everybody can kind of go off and get theirs.
That's a very sophisticated looking mask, Abhinav. Does that allow you to vape? Is that a built-in vaping system?
No. It's just anti-pollution mask as well.
Okay, great. We'll certainly know if we look back on these in years to come exactly what year this one took place.
Definitely. Okay, we are waiting for Robert and for this. Grace, you can do a 360 of the market as well.
There we go.
Pick him up.
Yay.
I was gonna say, it's like Abhinav looks like he can do kung fu in that mask. All right, hang on. Are you ready? So Grace is going to be doing one. I'll be doing one.
Oh, that's a good one, Grace.
1, 2, and 3. All right. Good job, everyone.
Thank you very much, Robert.
I can't breathe. I can't even wait.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you very much, Team Bunnion.
Thank you,
Thanks for the
guys.
showcase.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
All right, thanks
Thank you.
everyone on
Bye,
YouTube watching.
guys.
See